Start it up.
Cheap Not Broke fam. We are live. It is Monday. Thank you all for tuning back in. Tonight, we're talking the cost of weddings. How much do weddings cost? How much should you pay for your wedding? Get my sound together. How much does one pay for a wedding? That's what we want to know tonight. I'm actually planning a wedding myself, and I'm like, man, is this a good idea? I mean, it costs a lot of money. So let's get into it tonight. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Very much appreciated. I am your host, Malcolm. If it's your first time tuning in to Cheap Not Broke, welcome. Thank you for stopping by, because I'm pretty sure you saw, well, hell, how much the wedding cost. Let's talk into it. Let's get into it tonight. Now, as you know, I'm not sure if you know, your average cost of your wedding is, I would say, around like $20,000. That's like your traditional wedding. If you're going to have the ceremony, the reception, bring all the people down, all that stuff. Things have also changed, because now a lot of people do destination weddings. They do weddings outside the country, in the Caribbean. Some people do weddings in Africa, Europe. We're not doing that shit. No, sir. We're not doing none of that. But some people do that. That's exactly what they do. And I just wanted to get into some of the costs and break down why and what things cost so much, because I didn't know anything about weddings. I've attended weddings, and even attending weddings in 2026 costs money. You can't do nothing for free now. Oh, no. You got to pay to play, or you can't go. That's just how it is. So let's get in a breakdown. Let's break down some of this stuff and see how much all of this is. All right. Now, I was wrong. The average cost of your wedding is between $35,000 and $36,000 nationwide in the reception, ceremony, and reception expenses alone. This is increasing compared to prior years post-pandemic. Now, breakdown. What are the average? What do you need for the wedding? What has to happen for the wedding? What do you need? The number one cost. So I used to think it used to be the venue cost. The venue is one of your biggest costs. Your venue is your biggest fixed cost. You got to pay for that. You got to have somewhere to do. You need a building. You need a building, even if you do it outside. Somebody, unless you know some family or something like that, you need a building. The building gonna run you about between $5,000-$6,000. I know this because I planned a birthday party for my mom last year, and I started figuring out, okay, how much events really cost. You need a venue. You got to have somewhere to go. So your venue gonna run between $5,000 and $6,000. No, between $5,000 and $10,000, depending on how elaborate the venue is. Because here's what you gotta have. Now, let's say you just get a venue, just a big ass open space for $2,500. Fine. You still need chairs. You still need tables. You still need decor. That's gonna run your costs back up. So even if you get a venue for free, if somebody say, hey, you can use the building for free, if they couldn't provide enough chairs, those would have to be rented. Chairs would have to be rented. Decor would have to be rented. So there's just some stuff, some costs you can't get away from, you can't skip out on. You got to decorate. Now, how elaborate you want to go, flowers and all that other stuff, that's on you. But you got to have to decorate. You have to decorate. You need a venue minimum. Now, you can get away with it if you know somebody. You do it for free or do it at your church. You can skip out on that cost. But the decorations for the reception, you can't do that. You got to pay for that. Venue going to cost you a lot of money. And then, not to mention after that, you also need to have food and drink. You got to feed people. People got to eat. People got to eat. They got to eat and they got to drink. And I didn't know this before the wedding. So this is what a lot of people, this is where you really save your money. This is where this is the variable cost. How many people you invite and what type of food and drink are you going to have? Now, if you're going to have like a nice sit down dinner, steak, prime rib, chicken, lobster claw, snow crab, sea bass, Chilean sea bass. Y'all got Chilean sea bass. Y'all doing good. Mahi bites. I don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all might do something very elaborate. Whatever the case may be, the food goes up. Now you can have high quality food. Yes, you can. But you gotta invite less people. Your food, your party, your guest party list is where your money gonna go. Didn't realize that. Then you gotta make some hard choices. who you're going to invite, who you're not. Who you're going to invite. Are these people worth the money? Because, we're going to invite 100 people. Well, shit, 100 people going to be $40,000. 50 people, $20,000. So, are you willing to spend that? And are you inviting people that you really talk to, that are really interactive in your life? Some people you just know. Some people you just know, but you don't talk to them. You don't even have their phone number. I don't even have your address. I don't have nothing. Hey, look, if I didn't even talk to you on Facebook, we wouldn't even be in association at all. So you got to figure that out. That's where a lot of the other money goes. A lot of the other money goes in that. But let's look at the statistics. Average venue rental can run between $8,400 and $11,000, depending on location and services included. Yes, services included, because you do need some services. You know, some of the venues do provide services, like they provide a coordinator, somebody to help coordinate the day, make sure everything is flowing. Some people provide the, the chairs. The decor might be included. You know, they give you a standard package for the decorations. If you want to go above that, you pay more money. But some places exceed the national average, like New York, D.C., Los Angeles. We're not doing it here. Often exceed the national average. You're going to pay more money than a rural place. I've been to a couple weddings that were at like a vineyard. Vineyard costs less money. So they had a vineyard. Vineyard didn't cost as much. You know, they were able to do that. Hello. Hey. Hey, my mom's watching. Hey. Damn, what were we talking about? Yes, the venue. The venue can run you. So, like I said, even if you get a space with nothing, you still have to put the chairs in it. You still have to decorate it, and that $8,400, that $11,000 comes to a lot of it. I mean, look, it's just very difficult to do something with a bunch of people that's very inexpensive. Unless you're gonna, buy all the food and cook yourself, that's still gonna run you. Some stuff you just can't escape. You can't escape the cost. Studies show about 41% weddings cost under $25,000, with only about 12% exceeding $55,000. Yeah, you get exceeding $55,000. Y'all just rich people. Y'all some rich people. Y'all got that money. Y'all got the money. But the question is, when you spend $25,000, $30,000, are you skipping out on buying a home? Are you going to start a family that's going to put you behind? There's just a lot of other things that you can do with that money that you got to really evaluate and say, is this the best, smartest idea? Now, it depends on where you guys are financially. Some people can't afford that. And, damn, $20,000 sounds like a lot of money. That's nothing to them. And some people can comfortably do this. But the question is, can you come up with that $20,000 again to invest, put on a down payment on a home, whatever the hell y'all are trying to do? You still got the bachelor party. You still got the honeymoon if you're going to take one. All that's other costs. So, is it a good idea? Maybe you can take that $25,000 and just go on a nice trip. Get married at courthouse and go take an elaborate trip. Go fly first class, because I'm sure if you skip out on the wedding, you could take a first class flight to wherever the hell you want to go and go live it up. Take 2 weeks off and go do something with that money if you're traveling. So I think you really need to sit and evaluate, as we have doing. Does this make sense? Does this fit your budget? Can you afford this wedding besides today? You might be able to afford it today. Great. But that's a hefty investment. Just for a party for the day, man. And if you can't come up with that money, you're going to have to make sure it doesn't make any sense for you not to come up with that money for other things. Doesn't make any sense for you not to be able to save that money. Down payment. You got kids, they want to go to private school. Well, y'all got to come up to $25,000 again. You already done it. And not to mention, are you doing this cash or putting this on your credit cards or debt? Now, some people might be getting some help here and there. All kind of scenarios. But, you really want to sit down and make sure, plan, and really, really think about, can we, do something different with this $25,000 down the road? Does this make the best sense for us? You might want to, but doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you need to. Let's break down some of these numbers. Categories: expenses. Venue and ceremony, $11,000, 30% of the budget. Catering and food, $8,000, 25% of the budget. Like I said, the venue is the most of the money. Photographer and videography, $3,400 to $3,500, 9% of the budget. Attire and accessories, $2,000, 67% of the budget. Flowers and decor, $2,000, 6% of the budget. DJ, band, entertainment, $1,500, $2,000, and transportation, stationery, about $2,000 of the budget. Yeah. So, and like I said, this depends on how elaborate you want to go. Are you going to do a destination wedding? Are you going to have it at home? Let's see. Let's look at some destination weddings as well, because I know a lot of people do that. And like I said, it really boils down to the amount of people, because like I said, food and average cost, you can get that down depending on how many people you're inviting. And I'm sure a lot of people invite a lot of people that they don't necessarily talk to, have conversations with. You're just inviting them and invite them. Some people are not going to show. Some people are going to, RSVP and not show up. We're not having that. We have a mechanism in place to make sure everybody's going to show up. Now, I have to be honest, some of our numbers were like at $20,000, kind of like everybody else, or how much the wedding is and how much everything was going to cost us. So we're trying to crush the numbers and make sure it makes sense. Trying to figure out, can we cut some costs here, there, or anywhere? Are there some things that we can do to get that price down? Get that price down. And one of the biggest things that we saw we had to do, cut some guests. Some guests had to go. It just was too much money at the original number. So we have a smaller number now. And that number, has become more feasible. Costs are rising, but inflation-driven increases have slowed versus past year 2 to 4%. Guest count matters. Larger weddings, 130 plus guests, can run $45,000 to $65,000, while smaller ceremonies are much cheaper. Couples increasingly spend on digital hybrid elements, live streaming, personalized websites, etc., adding new items to the budget. Oh, we won't do no live streaming. Hell no. I mean, because you're only going to watch the ceremony. People aren't going to watch everybody else drink and have fun. Only the wedding part is going to get live streamed. That's only going to cost a few dollars. That's only going to be about 10, 15 minutes. After that, you're out of there. No need to do that. And, one thing about this wedding thing is this, what are y'all trying to do? What are y'all trying to do down the line? Like, really, what are y'all going to try to do financially? Because it sounds good. It feels great. It's a great feeling to plan it. You get all your family and friends to come out and celebrate you with you. Spend all this money. Eat all the cake and all that. And right here, they didn't have cake on there. Cake was not on this list. Flowers, decor, catering, food, beverage. Hopefully the cake is in that $8,000, because I did not see a cake on there. Cake still got to get bought. Half the couples usually go over initial budgets due to unforeseen costs or upgrades. Even with averages near 35, 36, many weddings happen for far less, 25 or under, or much less. Like I said, it depends on what you want to do, where y'all want to go. And y'all may not be the type of people to have that elaborate wedding. Y'all just may not. You can do. Some people do weddings at their house and they cook the food themselves and cater it. Hey, you can do that too. Do the wedding in the backyard. Save yourself some money. There you go. It just all depends on what type of people are y'all to do that. And can you afford it, man? Because, you got to figure out, you only got a certain amount of time. I mean, it depends on how long. Now, if you take like 2 or 3 years to save up for your wedding, that makes good sense. Some people try to do it a little, they'll give themselves as much time, so it's a little harder. So if you can save up, give yourself more time to save, it's not going to seem as bad. It's not going to kick you in the ass on the back end. It'll hurt you on the front end. But let's talk about some destination weddings. Destination weddings can be cheaper or comparable to traditional weddings depending on how you plan them. Budget-friendly small weddings, roughly $5,000 to $10,000. For smaller ceremonies or simple packages, often 10 to 25 guests. Mid-range, 10 to 20,000 for more common-sized celebrations with decent decor, modest reception, and packages. Classic or full wedding experience. Many couples fall between 25 and 45,000. This often includes ceremony, reception, decor, food, and some photography, videography. Luxury, high-end celebrations with upgraded venues Entertainment and extra events can range $45,000 to $100,000, well above depending on the guest count and customization. These totals generally don't include guest airfare or hotels. Guests, yeah. Now, let's break down the destination package. Venue package is $2,500, $2,000 to $15,000. Couples travel $1,000 to $2,500. Decor and floor upgrades $1,000 to $8,000. Ow! Photography and videography $1,000 to $7,000. Entertainment $1,000 to $5,000. Planning, coordinator fees $1,500 plus. Event, wedding party, brunch $35,000 to $10,000. Lot of freaking money. Mexico and Caribbean are among the most affordable destinations with packages and travel costs lower than many other regions. Hawaii or premium resort areas, mid-sized suburbs between $15,000 to $30,000 with full experience. Your exotic option fees tend to be higher, especially for large guest counts or prestigious venues, but offer unique backdrops and many couples value. Yep. So yeah, Mexico, Caribbean, that's gonna be your most affordable places to do it. Yeah, Hawaii's gonna run you. I just went to Hawaii. Hawaii's gonna kick you in the glass. It's gonna kick you in the glass, and you gotta be willing to pay that money. Do you value that stuff that much to pay it? I mean, it's a lot. And then let's talk about the guest side of the game. The guest side of the game. If you're a guest, you have to, like me, living in California. Most of the weddings I've been to been on the East Coast. That's where a lot of my family and friends are on the East Coast. So I had to get on a flight, fly over there. Depending on if that, you got to do 2 nights because the wedding is on Saturday. So you got to get there on Friday. You got to get there Friday. Got to pay for a hotel Friday night. Got to pay for a hotel Saturday night. Probably leave out on Sunday. Got to get your suit. Got to get the flight. So your average hotel, flight 200. Let's say the hotel, $150 a night, $200 a night. That's $400 plus the flight. About $750. So about almost between $500 and $1,000 per wedding. Because you got to get the flight and the hotel. You got to stay 2 nights. I don't have to get any clothes. I wear one of the suits I got. But, about between $500 and $1,000 for me to go to a wedding. Gifts. Got to get a gift. Got to, all that. You got to pay for it. There's no way around it. And that's what you're talking about. I have a friend of mine, the wedding I'm going to. It's in Dominican Republic. Bern, you've seen Bern, been on the channel. It's been some years, but Bern, my friend Bern, he's getting married. About $1,000 to get down to Bern's wedding. Got to get down to Punta Cana. Got to pay for the hotel. Got to pay for the flight. Take off work. Weddings cost, man. They're expensive, and not to mention, as the guy, I had to buy the engagement ring. That's about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, depending on how much you're spending. But I don't see you getting out for under $1,500 if you want a decent. You might. Your lady what they'll accept. What they'll accept. So, but yeah, you got that, and then not to mention, people who have now. If you have a wedding local, I think you can save a ton of money because you don't have to get the hotel. You don't have to stay out of town. You're right there. Everybody's right there. They come out to the wedding and go back home. They don't have no wedding costs, no hotel costs, nothing. Those things are good. That's good. So, you can save a lot of money doing it local, but unfortunately, a lot of people do destination weddings. Unless it's in LA, so that's not a destination wedding for me. I haven't been to many local weddings. Most of mine have been, got to get on the plane and go. Got to pay. But, there are special times in people's lives, so, you definitely want to go celebrate them. But remember, life goes on past the wedding. For you, for the party, whatever the case may be. So you shouldn't break your neck or go broke trying to get to nobody's wedding, and you shouldn't be going broke trying to have your own. You should not. You got to be smart, responsible financially. when this comes out, when you do all this. And that's what we're trying to do. Hell, we're trying to get some YouTube money. We're trying to put all this stuff on YouTube, so get some following, people subscribing. Pay for the wedding. So, yep. We'll see. Here's some key things about destination. With destination weddings, let you combine vacation, ceremony, honeymoon, potentially saving money overall. Guest travel and accommodation usually aren't covered by the couple, though some choose to help with blocks of rooms or discounts. Cost widely vary. Destination, guest count, season, and how many extras like events, upgraded, all that other stuff. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, there's no cheap way out of a wedding. There is no cheap way out. You can't do it. You can't do it. So, but anyway, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go to break real quick. We're gonna be right back. Right back. We're back. More show to go. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for staying and tuning in with me. We are on here, so we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna get on to that good old, interesting news. Let's get into it. Oh wow, that's wild. All right, let's get into it. Where my graphics at? Where my stuff at? Here we go. Boom. Here we go. We're back at it. We're gonna get to the business. Dollar Tree, one of my favorite stores, used to be. Dollar Tree is invading posh neighborhoods after years of catering to low-income customers, breaking stigma of dollar store. Dollar Tree is turning over a new leaf, slightly more luxurious. The discount retailer is opening up shop in more affluent neighborhoods in an effort to draw out nation's biggest spenders. Nearly half of Dollar Tree locations over 6 years have opened in wealthier zip codes, and metropolitan areas just compared to 41% in prior years. The new locations included retail chains in 9000 North American Store in Plano, Texas, in May 2025. The green and white storefront sits just a short driveway away from affluent Plano Louis Vuitton store, luxury car dealerships, and million dollar neighborhoods. Dollar stores have reputations of gaining customers during lean times, but recent years suggestions alternative tactics, but their accent tried to ritzy. Whoa. What? Dollar store's reputation for gaining customers during lean times, but recent years suggest a alternative business tactic behind their accent into ritzy enclaves, but it pays to cater to wealthier. The highest earning 10% of Americans are driving up majority of the nation's spending, changing how low-cost retailers like Walmart operate and reshaping its retail market. Don't forget your base. A lot of times you guys like to forget your base. You screw people over, you start losing money. So that's that. So Dollar Tree moving into rich neighborhoods. Good for them. Let's move on to the next story because I don't have my damn charger. My computer's gonna die. Let's see. Costco launches mobile app ordering for custom cakes and deli trays, easing customer woes. Costco, get out of the way. What the heck? Costco. Hold on one sec. Okay. Costco is officially retiring decades-old system of customers long found frustrating as a part of his latest major digital overhaul. Costco customers will soon be able to place custom cake and deli tray orders directly through the company's mobile app and website. Previously, shoppers were required to drive to Costco just to fill out the paperwork to form orders in the store. Yeah, y'all need to change that. Executives in the major retailers said upgrade, which would streamline orders to start, pick up, addresses, outdated processes as they describe as clunky. Very excited that we have upcoming app. CEO Ryan Vargas said, "We are ordering cakes and deli trays coming. So many things that we've heard from our members that could be a little clunky are now moving to digital, and we're seeing a great adoption." Hell yeah, they want that money. That's what the major retailers did not provide a specific date when the system would be fully implemented across all locations, but it's coming. It's coming. There we go. That's what we got. It's coming. So good for Costco. Costco's moving it up. They heard what the people said, and they're doing something about it. All right. Boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be, we're going to have a briefer, shorter, interesting news tonight because my battery's going to die, and I don't have my cord. My cord is somewhere else. So, but that's all good. But we're just talking about weddings tonight, how you can save money on your wedding. Should you spend money on your wedding? And think about if that's appropriate for you. I know I'm going through it right now. We're reshaping the numbers. But like I said, we're thinking long term. Does this make sense for us? Can we afford this? And we're doing it all cash. Those things got to happen. If you're not going to do it like that, you shouldn't do it all. And remember, one thing I've been told about this whole wedding process is don't feel bad about who you don't invite, okay? You got to invite who's in your budget. You want to have 100 people there, but you can only afford 50. And if somebody doesn't make that list, hey, that doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you can't afford it. It's all good. People have to understand that. And if they can't respect that, they don't respect you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Cheap Not Broke. I've been your host, Malcolm. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be back on Wednesday with more Cheap Not Broke. More Wednesday rant this Wednesday. So make sure you tune into that. Until then, I will see you. Take care.